Yo, yo, yo! Social media. It is your man, TonytheTycoon. And I'm telling you, it is telling us that you are now live. Welcome to Gridiron Games. Welcome all are welcome. Man, wanted to get this thing going at at 11 a.m. on the dot. We still working on it, man. You know how it goes with personal difficulties. But look, we got a great episode for you today, man. My guy is on right now. He's joined. I'm about to get him in. We got a great story. This gentleman that I'm getting ready to introduce y'all to has, man, when I tell you he is the epitome of perseverance and continuing to follow and tread in the space of success. I'm so excited to bring this young man on. So let's get him going here. I don't want to add him as a moderator. So, all right. So, Shaun, if you can. Yeah, there it is. All right, let's hit. We're going to get this thing rocking. There you go. All right, there you go. Look, see, we can see the success on the wall, big dog.
Man, what's going on with you, man?
Hey, how you doing, Shaun, bro? Hey, listen, before we get started, brother, first and foremost, man, thank you for your time, bro. I'm one of these people, man, that time is the most important thing that is hardly ever thought of. And for you to spend just a little bit of that with us in the platform, bro, I am honored, I'm grateful, and I appreciate you, man, for sure.
Nah, most definitely, man. Come on, we've been supposed to be got up. It's all about timing, man, like they say.
Absolutely, man. And speaking of timing, man, you got a lot of great things going, man. I did my research on you, bro. You're a pillar in the community, brother. And you got some stuff happening that we'll get into a little bit later, but that's dope, man. One of the things that this platform is about is talking about athletes and how we transition off the field, because man, that's some of the hardest things that we ever get into, but just to get you acclimated with the platform, man. Let's get into a little bit of your background, man. So if I say to you, Midwood High School, yeah, Midwood High School, man. Talk to us about that.
uh, Midwood High School, man. That was my freshman year in New York. New York didn't have JV football. They only had varsity at the time. It was like some budget cuts, so they cut JV. I'm a freshman in high school, playing on one of the top, premier high schools in Brooklyn, and shoot. I started as a freshman in ball. Um, was on Good Day New York. Had a couple of records. I think I had something like for a freshman. I had 3 sacks, 2.5 sacks or something in one game. It was just a dope experience being a New York kid and my roots. It was just funny you said Midwood because a lot of people that know me don't even know my last name was a Smith at first. When I was at Midwood, my name was Sean Harvey. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't even know that. The last name Smith come from my stepdad. My stepdad adopted me. I wanted, he was the father figure in my life. And shoot, I wanted his last name. And that's just, I'm Sean Harvey because my mom's still name is Cynthia Harvey Smith. You know what I mean? But, shoot. John Smith the second is the reason why my last name is Smith. So I shout out to him all the time. He's still my pops, stepdad. So my biological dad had 11 kids, and I know him, but I don't know him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When I made it to the pros, he didn't care. You know what I mean? The memory I got of my dad is when I first got him. I remember, I think I was in like the 6th grade, and he took me to get some school clothes. And meanwhile, while him and his homeboy was, once he got the clothes, got me some Wendy's. I never forget this when they had the Biggie Fry and
Yeah.
all that at Wendy's. And my pops, him and his partner was breaking in cars
Wow.
while I sit in the car. You know what I mean? That's the memory. That's the memory I have of my biological dad. That's crazy, but that's the memory I got. You know what I mean? But I got out of it's a total of 10 or 11 of us. I'm the second oldest. My older sister, I'm cool with, and then one of my sisters that's under me, I'm cool with. But all the rest of them, I don't even know where they at. You know what I'm saying? But
It's
then,
not it's not a real relationship there with the rest of them.
yeah, I never had one.
Yeah.
Only reason I have a relationship with my oldest one is because when I did see my dad, he used to take me always to see her. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And we always kept a relationship. It's crazy. Then I think my grandma passed away, or grandfather, one of them passed away, and I went to the funeral, and that's how I kept in touch with my younger sister, one of my younger sisters, because social media. They follow me, in school, But then that's on my dad's side, on my biological dad's side, and then on my stepdad's side, he got kids too.
Yeah.
But they Rolling Stones, but nah, they good man. My stepdad was a good man, so he's still
Yeah.
alive. I got sisters. I got five sisters on them and a little brother. My little brother's a sports agent, Shaun Smith the third.
Nice.
Um, and then my sisters, they all doing good. They're good. They actually coming here to Texas in a week or two for like we're doing a little family. Haven't done it in a while. All the siblings get together so we can go out to eat, hang out, be around each other. See how long
Man, that's
that.
dope. That's dope, bro. Listen, man, at the end of the day, one of the things when you in a situation like that with blended families, bro, I always feel like it's the responsibility is on the siblings to say, you know what, regardless of what our parents did, if we choose to have a relationship and want to build something, not just relationally, but even outside, whether that be, camps and literacy programs for kids or, business or whatever it is. I'm not the person that says, don't do business with family. Why not? If I can't
Nah,
trust
I
my
mean,
family,
I tell people that all the time. Yeah,
yeah,
it's hard to do business with your family
it is.
sometimes. You know
It
what I
is.
mean? Because sometimes your family burn you.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But that's just like if you don't get burnt by a family member because you're gonna get burnt by the other people out here in the world too that's scamming and scheming all the time, and people don't understand. People do that a lot, and
yeah,
it's crazy, but that's just the world we in right now. So I mean,
yeah.
you live and learn.
Absolutely. Well, look, man, you grew up like you talked about. You grew up in Brooklyn, but you had a unique journey through high school too, and so also we know about the community college, right? And then you finally got to South Carolina. So like, how were those early moves in like challenges? How did that shape you as a player and the person that you've become today?
Man, to be honest with you, man, being a kid from Brooklyn, New York, where my mom was a cop, um, the journey was just crazy. When I moved I'll never forget my sophomore year going to we had to get ready to move to Kansas, Wichita, Kansas, and my stepdad had got a job out there, and I was just like, Kansas, nigga, I was crying. I was just like, yo, my friends, I just had a great freshman year in
Yeah,
high school. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But to this day, I would say that was the best freaking move I ever done, y'all.
Mm.
Leaving New York. Because in New York, the opportunities are for kids to make it a slim. You don't ever hear about, you hear about guys making it to the pros. You hear about guys making it to the pros for basketball from New York. But really, you hear for football, you don't hear, in the locker room's always a battle about Texas football, Florida football, California football. That's the only three states you always hear about. You don't hear nothing else about nothing
Yeah,
else. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
they don't play ball in New York. They play basketball. They don't play football. Man, we play football. You know what
yeah.
I mean? So that journey, that was the best thing going to Kansas, going to high school, getting notarized, being ranked in the nation. In high school in the state of Kansas, I was like in the top 25 or something like that. And then because I messed up in New York during school a little bit, not going to class, I was just playing sports and not going to class. I was in the lunchroom playing cards and dominoes. You know what I mean? So I was skipping school, and we went to Kansas. That was like I said the best thing. So it messed me up. So I had to go to junior college. So when I went to junior college, I went to Butler County. Shoot, as a freshman, we won a national championship. I'm lit. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Then I
yeah.
got, I was already a top player getting recruited out of high school, but back then they had Prop 48. I wasn't trying to do that, so I went to JUCO, did what I did, was All American, JUCO All American. Then coming out of JUCO, I was the number 2 player in the nation in rankings because I had like 21 sacks. Had something crazy like 21 sacks in JUCO, and I was getting recruited by everybody, and I decided to go to South Carolina. I had one of my sisters was out there at the university, living out there, so it was cool. My mom and dad moved out there. My little brother moved out there. It was like the best, and I played for Lou Holtz, a Hall of Fame coach, a
Yeah.
guy that, you know what I mean,
Legend.
taught me about life.
Yeah.
forget football. You know what I mean. He just used football as a tool to help a lot of young men propel and be successful in life. That's what that was about. You know, for the
Yeah.
most part.
Now, for those that don't know, man, 128 tackles, 20 sacks in your sophomore year, man. So when we say you was a baller, like listen, those are the stats to prove it, man. And but how did that like those performances like that, right? They always give us like that extra confidence because we're always like I believe I can go, but then when you put up a performance like that, now you're stamped and sealed as it pertains to at least having that confidence and knowing that I can play with anybody. Um, how did that prepare you mentally, being at that community college and then now stepping into the D1 space like you talked about with South Carolina?
Well, JUCO is like I tell people, it's like jail.
Mm,
Like it's struggle. JUCOs don't have the money. They don't have the fancy facilities. You don't have a bunch of trainers and all that. You get hurt. You get hurt. You can't go get an X-ray right then and there. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You get one pair of shorts and a T-shirt. You know what I mean? Your training table ain't like how D1 is. You know what I mean? I remember I used to go into the cab with my water bottle and filling up my water bottles with the jug, high seafood punch
Mm,
all the time, or the high sea orange all the time. Then take it back to my dorm room because JUCO was a struggle. Food wasn't good. God rest his soul. My D-line coach I had, Coach Brett. Um, Man, he taught me a lot, man. Even with my work study, he was like making sure he take care of me the best way he can. You know what I mean? Give me at the time, JUCO got your sponsorships. So whether it was McDonald's, Dairy Queen, whatever, he used to give me the coupons to make sure I stayed fed. Got me a work study job to come watch film.
mm,
So you know what I mean? It was just cool. He took care of me, and it was just like the mindset. You had to go in the mindset like, yo. I'm the best man out here, and it was just I'm gonna make it.
yeah.
Being from New York, I'm like, yo, I'm out here in Kansas, I can make it. You know what I'm saying? If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. That's what I tell people. The mindset was just, yo, I'm a dog, and I'm gonna get to where I gotta get to. My goal, man, to this day, I remember when Julius Peppers got drafted. I was in my dorm room, my quarterback dorm room. My homeboy, he was the quarterback, Cedric Stevens. He's a cat from New York too, but he was from upstate New York.
Mm,
I told him we was watching the draft. I said, "Yo, I'm going to the pros, bro. I'm
yeah.
going to the, I'm going to the pros, bro." I said, I'm gonna get drafted. I didn't get drafted, but I made it to the pros. You know what I
No
mean? And
doubt.
it was just more determination, man. It's like when I put my mind and stuff, man. I'm gonna get it done, yo. But people don't see the failures I have either, though.
Can you
You know
go
the
into that?
time.
Man, I love that you did that. Can you talk about that? Because Shaun, like I know, man, a lot of these young kids think that if they work hard a little bit, then it's supposed to happen. But you've led a different road that wasn't the case. But you kept going and you've reached this height of success. Can you talk about what that failure looked like and how you overcame that?
Man, that failure look like, man, when shoot, draft day come.
Mm,
And I didn't get drafted, but I was getting calls to my third round. Hey, can I never forget third round? Kansas City said they wanted to they were thinking about taking me, but they ended up taking a running back, Martaria Sharp.
mm,
I think he was from Missouri State or something like that. One of them schools that took him. Then as a Chicago Bears, they had a chance to draft me. They ended up taking Latron LaFavor, Ian Scott. You know what I mean? Cats don't understand that class of 2003. I played longer than any defensive lineman that got drafted in 2003. My career was longer than 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
The failures, when I consider failure, is like, yo, not making a 53-man roster, not getting drafted. sitting at home crying, wondering what my next move is. You know what I mean? Calling my mom like, yo, they cut me. You know what I mean? And it was just like, what's next? You know what I mean? I was just like, damn, I didn't know what I had to do. I didn't have my degree either. You know what I mean? I was still short, a semester of school. So just 2003, and I'm just, boom, I get cut from the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But they said they're going to put me on practice squad. They cut you and then say, hey, we're going to put you on practice squad. I'm like, I bet. I'm yo. I know, but you got clear ways. So you don't know, you might get claimed. Just don't, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
another legendary coach, Bill Parcells, and then General Jerry. I never forget Jerry Jones. Man, we like you. We like you. Bill Parcells said, man, trust me, we'll see you tomorrow. You know what I mean? What you feel like? Clear waivers and shit. It was all she wrote from there, man. But even when we say fail, some of my failures is just the decision making. Sometimes the people you have around you,
Ooh,
that's a failure. Like
that's a
people don't
dream.
understand that. And then it's about working when everybody else is not working.
Yeah.
People don't understand. You got in order to be elite, it's mental. You know what I mean? And I also relied on my faith.
Yeah, man.
I ain't saying I'm the best Christian out. You know what I mean? Nobody is. Everybody sin and do different things. But I relied on my faith on them times when it was like dark moments for me. And
Yeah.
my mom was a praying woman. Like she used to fast every year during training camp for me. Um, always pray, send me scriptures. You know what I'm saying? And people don't understand, as an athlete, it's not easy.
No.
The pressure you always under. I can't go get in an argument with somebody in public and it don't make it viral. You know what I mean? Because no matter what, we're done playing, bro. I ain't played since 2013, but we go get in trouble, do anything. Former NFL player, blah 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 blah. You,
Yep.
you don't make it, whether you was right or wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So young kids today don't understand. We had it harder. We paved the way to make it easier for them now, like with the NIL and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just the journey. The journey is real. Um, you just gotta have confidence and believe you're always the best at what you do, no matter what, even in them dark days. Find a way to pick you up.
It's different coming for you, man, because like you talked about being an undrafted free agent, like, man, you're not just fighting for a roster spot at this particular time, man. You're fighting for a dream. It's a lot different than cats that make it on the roster. It's like, all right, now I'm fighting for a spot. Now I'm fighting to prove that I can, that I can be out here. And you're holding on and fighting for the dream to just be in it and then be able to prove yourself. Like, like, like in that space from a mentality situation, like how did how did that shape your mentality moving forward as you started going to the league? Because you said something very important, and here's my theory too, right? I got a statement question type of thing for you. My theory is for people that are drafted, I want to say I say fourth round and below. There's a different drive and hunger for those guys. And if we pull the statistics, we would probably see that we have longer careers because it wasn't given to us early. So how did that shape your mentality moving forward to play, like you said, a decade in the league when most people, all the teams passed up on you, even the ones that kept you? How did that shape your mentality to keep moving?
Man, the way to keep moving was shoot. I had a mom. I had knew I wanted to take care
Yeah.
of. A little brother I wanted to take care of. Throughout my career, I was married twice. I got daughters. And wanted to provide for my family, my kids. You know what I'm saying? Be the best. You know what I mean? My thing was like people say now. I say my kids are spoiled. They don't know what waiting for something is. Yo, you want a pair of shoes? All right, we're going to get. You know what I mean? When I was growing up, Mom Dukes. oh man, you gotta wait till my paycheck come. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I want the J's. J's come out. I ain't getting them till 2 months later, but you know I got them. She did what she did, so I always come in my mom. So one thing I promised myself was I was gonna be a better father than my biological father was. Um, I was also going to stay. I stayed motivated because I knew I had a daughter at the time to provide for. So that was just like even when I wanted to quit.
Drive,
You know what I mean?
of course.
You know what I mean? Every day I practice against God rest his soul, Larry Allen. People don't know Larry Allen's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
I went against Larry Allen, Flozell Adams, and Andre Gerard.
yeah,
3 guys that's Pro Bowlers, boom, 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 every day in practice my rookie year. So that's when I knew after going against Larry Allen and them boys every day, I knew I belonged in the league. I was ready to come year 2, year 3, year 4, year. And then when I finally got my big payday, you know, hey, I made it. You know what I mean? I'm living. You know what I mean?
uh,
I was able to be blessed and take care of myself and, you know, and be happy. But it's just a mindset and you gotta stay having that mindset, man, no matter what.
yeah. I know. I agree with you, man. And that's the thing that people don't see. They see the name on the back of the jersey. They see you making plays on, Thursday, Monday, Sunday, Saturday too. Now in the playoffs, right? But they don't see the behind the scenes stuff, man. And that's why I think this is so important because especially I'm so glad that we were able to get you on at this particular time because we were getting ready to go into the draft. And I talk about numbers with a lot of the guys that we work with Athlete Alliance. And one of the things I talk to them about is like, look, man, at the end of the day, it's going to be your one tune and your wheel versus somebody else's. Every year, 2,200 people are getting a job, and every year, 2,200 people are losing a job. You got to decide which side you're going to be on, right?
Yep.
And so, with that being said, like one of the things that I know, because you were talking about prior to you getting your payday, you were kind of like a journeyman, right? You was on some different teams, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I know, man, that could be mentally and emotionally taxing, especially not knowing, if this is a setup or a setback. So how did you stay focused when you had to make those particular moves to get to the end goal, which was going to be that payday that you talked about?
True, man. Like my agent said, as long as you don't miss a paycheck. As long as you don't miss a
True.
paycheck. I had a paycheck every week.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Shout out to my old agents, Neil Swartz and Jonathan Feinside, man.
Yes, sir.
Them dudes, family. I could call either one of them right now and they'll pick up the phone. And if they're busy and they answer, they'll send me a text say, hey, I'm gonna call you later on. That's
Yeah.
like they became family. That's what cats don't understand when we wanting an agent. Not just because they calling for the pay your agent fees, but what are they doing for you life after football?
Mm.
You know what I mean? A lot of cats don't understand. You get done with ball, bro. You lost. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because you don't know exactly what you really want to do. Yeah, you ain't had time when you're playing to do these certain businesses like that. You got to trust people to run it, and sometimes they don't run your stuff right. You get bad business. Excuse me. You get bad business advice, and you know.
Absolutely. No, yeah. To your point, I mean, that's one of the biggest things that we're looking at today. Like, how are the numbers what they are? Like, how is it that, 80% of our guys are, struggling financially, or, most of them from a relational standpoint are no longer with the woman that they started with, right? And we've all gone through that. A lot of us have gone through that. You know what I mean? So we're supposed to be able to rely on especially agents, because they're kind of like depending on the age limit, either gonna be like a big brother to you, a big uncle, or like a father figure, like you're
Or like
you're
a father
leaning on.
depending on if you got that family support. You know what I mean? That's the bigger
Correct.
thing too. And I think guys don't understand too to make it too. You got to have a support system, not a
Yeah,
support system that's just nagging and pulling from you. A support system that's telling you, "Yo, you wrong." Not yet being a yes, yes sir, yes man type of person all the
yeah,
time. Just because you making all the money and bringing in, you got to have somebody that can check you, bro. Because if
yeah.
you don't, you'll get lost in the sauce, man. I've seen so many guys, and to take it go back to when you was like, how I keep going, yo, every day, not every day, making sure I had a paycheck, because As long as you make it to Wednesday practice, they gotta make it to Wednesday practice. They gotta pay you for the week. They can cut you Thursday. They still gotta pay you for the
Yeah,
whole week. You know
yeah.
what I mean? And you make good money in the NFL. The NFL is set up for where you can make good money. You can go broke and still come back and make money too if you do it right.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. I don't see guys with all the programs they have, but guys don't want to read. Don't, like you say, you did the research on me. You know what I mean? Guys don't read and do the research. There's so many programs out there to help you to get you back on your feet if you're not on your feet. But a lot of guys are ashamed to speak out. You know what I mean?
Why do you
So guys,
think that? Why do you think that is, Shaun? Because you've dealt in that space with the literacy aspect and the programs and stuff. What do you think in your experience that why guys don't reach out for help when they know they need it?
man, because guys are prideful. See, a
Mm,
nigga like me, being from New York, I don't care, bro. I'm just straight to it. I'm blunt. People tell you, everybody that met me, yo, he may be a loudmouth dude, but he gonna be honest with you and tell you how you feel. Either he mess with you or he don't. Just don't on some real, not on no gangster stuff, not on no tough guy stuff. I don't have time for BS.
yeah,
You either with me or you rocking with me or you ain't. I don't need no fake friends. There's too many people in the world like that right now. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You want
yeah,
people that's genuine, that's gonna give you the same reciprocate back. That's what I want. You don't always get that. You gotta weed them out. You know what I mean? Just like when coaches be trying to weed out who's gonna be the right fit for your team. You know,
yeah,
and I use football analogies a lot because that's how I can break it down to explain people to understand where I'm going and why I am wired the way I'm wired.
yeah,
Just doing stuff in the community. I do stuff in the community not for attention. God put me here to provide too, so why not give back in some type of way? And sometimes people think giving back always is money.
yeah.
It's not about money. Sometimes it's your time. Like you know, even with my foundation, the Shaun Smith 91 Ways Foundation, support childhood literacy and childhood hunger. Everybody don't understand. By the time you reach third grade, 1 out of 4 kids can't read and write. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So, people don't know. So I go into schools and try to tell kids don't just want to be a football player, a rapper, a doctor. Either way, you got to do all that. You got to be able to read contracts. So, people talk about they want money. If you can't read your contract, how you gonna get paid? People, they shit on you all the time. You know
Facts.
what I mean? If they get over, they're gonna get over on
Yeah,
you. You know what I mean?
because we
And,
don't understand.
and
Because we don't understand the language, and we not, like you said, we're not reading it, man. We're putting a lot of trust. What I want is for us as athletes to stop putting so much trust in the representation, unless that representation has shown that they can be trustworthy. A lot of times, like I know, we get our agents from the homeboys that we rocking with in the locker room. Like, hey man, this is what my agent doing. You need to holler at them. But they don't really even know what the agent is doing. They might have gotten something, maybe got a brand deal or something like that, and they be like, oh, he real. No, that's not real. I'm gonna know when you
that's not
real.
real because that cats don't even know. Most of the time, everybody in the NFL can get a shoe deal. It's just
Yeah,
a matter of how good you are and how much money you can
yeah,
get. At the end of the day, everybody get a shoe deal.
exactly.
When I came in, either it was Nike or Reebok. Just, you know what I'm
Giving
saying?
away
That's just what it is.
contracts like hotcakes. Like, oh, he playing the
Like
league.
hotcakes.
Yeah, here, his $10,000 worth of merch.
Here
You
go
know what I
10.
mean? Oh, he
Here
making
go.
tackles. Here's 20,000 Nike dollars. Like, right, yeah, bro, that's
Trust me,
easy.
Nike took care of me, man. Nike took care of me. You know what I mean? Shout out to my boy at Nike, Mike Newsom. Mike Newsom, one of the greatest, man. I ain't gonna lie. Mike Newsom keep me straight, man, on a lot of stuff, man. But just like I say, I do stuff in the community with my foundation just cause, not for attention, because I want kids to believe they can make it, man.
Mm,
We all got a
that's
story. It's just a matter of how you want to write your story.
that's real. That's real, man. Let me ask you this, because we talk about writing stories and things like that. I think about the people that's in your story, man. Like, what were some valuable lessons that you learned from your coaches that you still carry with you to this day? And who were those coaches that you learned from?
Man, first, shoot, I learned from Coach Brad. my JUCO coach
Mm-hmm.
at Butler County. I learned from Charlie Strong. He was my D-line coach in DC at South Carolina.
That's crazy.
Slash,
Head coach in Texas, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
bullethead. You know what I mean? Muscle man. What
Yeah.
do you think, Smith? You know what I mean? Wear the tight sweatsuit, look old school. You know, but that's Chuck for you.
Yeah.
Uh, him, Dave Roberts at South Carolina. He recruited me to South Carolina. They call him Dirty Dave for a reason, but Dirty Dave made sure I was straight, man. I'm on, you know what I mean? Who else? When I got to the league, my first D-line coach, Casey Rogers.
Yeah.
It was his first year. He was coming from college, Arkansas. He's still in the league coaching somewhere now. I think he just took the Detroit job. Um, and also Jay Hayes I
Yeah.
had in Cincinnati. You know what I mean? And I had Randy Melvin. Everywhere I had pretty much cool D-line coaches. All my coaches was cool. But what I learned from them most was about being on time, be a professional.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Meet start at 8 o'clock. Don't walk in at 7:59
Yeah.
or just at 8 o'clock. Be the meeting at 7:45. Bill Parcells taught me that early. And see, you know what I mean? We catch, you know, when you get, people don't understand, we make a lot of money, but them fines is deep. Deep.
They
You know
coming.
what I
They gonna find
mean?
a way to get it back, son.
Oh, so you get out that meeting, you've been late. You know the little coach, secretary already got that shit on your locker. When you come back out of the next meeting, on your envelope, your number, you already know you got fined, bro. Like, man.
You can see that little white paper dangling from the locker from a mile away, bro.
Yep. You know, in my way, it's either that or the media once you got a request to do something for the media. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
nah, I mean, coach, that being professional and just it's a job.
Yeah.
Always being on your P's and Q's. I always had to be on my P's and Q's because being undrafted, it was always the next man up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, every Tuesday, I'm still coming to get a workout even though it's day off because I'm trying to get, I don't know. And I used to come in just to see who they're bringing in for a workout.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Understanding the game, get the film, see, get better, see, because, be on P Squad your first year, you could be activated anytime.
Correct.
If you ain't ready, that might be your one opportunity. You blow it.
Man,
You know what I mean?
I give you a little story, bro. That happened to me. Like I was, staying ready, and it didn't work. It wasn't happening, man. I wasn't getting out there, wasn't getting my shot, but I was still doing my thing, man. And this is early in the game. And man, I was like, bro, they ain't finna play me, bro. Like I'm finna just do me. I'm chilling, like because after so long, it's
It's
just
like,
like, bro, this is ridiculous.
man, you be like, man, after week 10, yo.
Yeah. Well, bro, what happened was I'm suiting up. I'm chilling. Tackle go down. You up. I'm like, oh, it's like that. And I didn't have the best performance. I had an okay
You had a
performance. I didn't go.
decent
Yeah,
performance, but it wasn't like,
it wasn't like it
it could
when
have
I would
been
have been locked
better
in.
if you knew you was going to play, but you so used to that, man, let me
Yes.
get some seeds. Let me get a Gatorade, man.
Yep.
I'm hungry, halftime. Let me go in and get something to eat,
Yep.
man, because, bro,
It,
just
it,
sitting
it-
there
it's tough.
watching, I get bored.
It's tough. But that moment taught me though to always be ready because you never know when it can happen. And so the next time that the opportunity came, man, I took it and ran with it. Came a starter for a few weeks and all of that. So I had learned that's the game. The game that taught me a valuable lesson in that regard, man, about like, hey, bro, you gotta always stay ready because you never know. When they tell you you one injury away, like literally, bro, I was
One
one
injury
injury.
away. A cat could go home, get hurt, and you
You
got
up.
to be ready to go the next day.
Yeah, and you up, man. Here's something too that I want you to shed some light on that I think will help some of these young guys, man. Like because you talked about being professional, and it's so important. And and I understand, in your journey, professionalism, moving in the space of readiness. We talked about that, man. But there's also times, man, like you talked about it, man. There's a lot of stress, strain, controversy, stuff like that. Um, Allegedly, I always say allegedly, man. I was reading up on some stuff with you and Brady Quinn. I wanted to know if you could go into a little bit, whatever you want to dive into, but just use that as a learning lesson to teach the young kids so that when they go in there, they can understand, like, hey, man, let's be locked in all aspects because you don't want to lose a potential opportunity,
Nah, I
because
mean,
you ain't locked in. You know what I mean?
I didn't mean to cut you off just then, but that Brady Quinn situation kind of almost fucked up my career
Okay.
for a second.
That's real. That's real.
Because, you know, he's a franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm a D lineman at Cleveland. They paid me money, and we're struggling. We ain't winning. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So we had an incident. It was a practice. I was supposedly hurt, but not really hurt. Like, shit, Romeo Cornell took care of me, man. Like, shout out when you had to my coach, Romeo Cornell, Rat. That's like my father.
Mm.
He took care of me. Whatever, as long as he was coaching, I knew I had a job. That's another thing cats don't understand. Be
Yeah.
cool with these linebackers, these DCs, and all that, because they get their head job, whatever. That relationship matters because they gon', you know what I mean? Mike Zimmer like me, keep your job.
Yeah.
But then when it's time for their position, at least they know your consistency, and know what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the situation with Brady, we was in the weight room, and at the time I was married, and he said something foul about my wife. You know
Mm.
how white people
Mm.
joke? They joke. They use them jokes differently than the brothers we do. You know what I mean? He said something I didn't like, and it was a touchy thing at the time with my wife. So shit,
Yeah.
I'm in the weight room. I stopped it here and there. I went over there, just open handedly, just smacked the shit out of him.
Yeah. Right. Hey, at
And
least
you
so.
know what I'm saying?
I'm
And
I'm gonna rock
then
with you on that one.
you know what I mean? And then at the time, I was like, no, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I got suspended. The crazy part is, I got suspended. They just told me not to come to the game on Sunday. All right.
Okay.
We both got fined. We both got fined $5,000. Fuck it. We both got fined, so I wasn't tripping. He got fined the same thing I got fined. Fast forward, season's over with. They fire Romeo.
Mm.
Brady's still there though. Eric Mangini becomes the head coach.
Yeah.
My first meeting with Eric Mangini, first thing he said to me, yeah, that's fucked up what you did to the quarterback. Don't know me from a can of Adams. You don't know the situation. You don't know nothing.
Yeah.
First thing he said to me. And from there, then it messed up my career a little bit because I went to training camp. I had Brian Cox as a D-line coach. You know, he's
Mm.
a former player. You know, he used to be an asshole too. So me and him got into a shouting match at practice one day, and I was like, "Fuck it." We went into meetings later on that day. They was like, "Yeah, you the lowest man on the totem pole." I said, "Man, I don't care." I said, "Y'all can cut me right now, straight up. I know I can go get me a job. I'm proven already. I know plenty of teams, yo, pick me up real quick." So I was about to get cut, and I remember I was in the meeting with Mangini and I can't think of the dude, the other GM. He came from Baltimore. I forgot his name. I just split the desk up over them niggas like, fuck y'all. Y'all niggas telling me I'm the last total nigga on the totem pole after I still put up numbers the last 2 years here in Cleveland?
Yeah.
Fuck y'all niggas, man. So I got cut. Shit. Once again, shout out to Neil Schwartz and Jonathan Feinside. Detroit won me. I'm like, bet I still married. My kids was there ain't nothing but a 2 hour. It was like a 2.5 hour drive, something like that.
Mm.
Bet, nigga, shit. I just got cut. I'm about to get a 300K signing bonus just to come to play in Detroit.
Yeah.
Just to sign my name, 300K. Fuck it. I ain't. Even though they cut me too, because I was getting suspended. It's the only time in my career I got suspended in the NFL. Remember them water pills was gone, and I had to cut weight because of Mangini. Them
Yeah.
niggas wanted me to go from 330 to 310.
And how long did they give you to do that?
Basically 2 months. It was
Wow.
basically 2 months. They was trying to get me up out of there.
Yeah.
Because I had my other partner, Shaun Rogers,
Mm-hmm. I
Robier
know Big Baby.
Smith,
I know Big Baby. Yeah.
Robier, Texas kid,
Mm-hmm.
Texas UT,
Yep.
Robier Smith, and Corey
Mm-hmm.
Williams.
Yeah.
Nigga, we the top, one of the top. That's one of the top D lines right now. Us four. Then we had a couple of young cats that was nice too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was just crazy. I had they try to get me up out of there doing that. So I knew I was about to get 4 games of suspension.
Yeah.
And Detroit was like, shit, we want to keep you, but we don't got time right now. That's Coach Schwartz didn't want to, you know what I mean? So I got cut. Then
Yeah.
shit. And so, I ended up back in Cincinnati because of them.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Relationships, man, like you talked about earlier. But you know what? In that story, man, it's so interesting. And here's the thing that you might have heard. Like I've heard Ryan Clark talk about it on the Pivot, and also on ESPN. Talk to Stephen A. and things like that. But the bias in the NFL is ridiculous because there's not a man that I know that has any type of dignity or respect about himself that's going to let another man disrespect his wife. I don't care how we saying it. I don't care what it is. And he not stand up on that. Like there ain't no turning the other cheek when you
Nah.
disrespecting wife and children, right?
Wives and kids are always off limits,
Correct.
bro, in anything. It's
Correct.
just like with the LeBron, Stephen A. I'm not mad at Bron. And I know Bron from playing in Cleveland how he is.
Yeah.
Bron, Bron is Bron. Bron is a cool
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Real cool dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I got kids now. My daughters now, you say something about I'm going to jail behind mine. That's
Yeah.
just how it is. I don't care. You never disrespect a man, kids, or wife, or girlfriend, with whoever they significant other, or their mama, bro. You just don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I look at the bias between the person that committed the offense and then the person that had the penalty, against them. Why was it not equally yoked in a sense to where both of these type of situations was in? And then for you to come in and not even know who I am and just hear about a situation and then prejudge it, that lets me know, right? You're not a leader of men, and you already had the pre-calculated, thought about me in the
You already had
first
a
place.
pre-calculated
Yeah.
thought of me. Then, man, Jenny used to try to, like, he was like, I think one of my partners, 11 and out in here said, because he was one of the equipment managers that was around, used to help us move the equipment when we travel and everything. He was one of the dudes
Mm-hmm.
loaded. And Earl, my man Earl, shout out to Earl. And he used to see, man, Jenny used to try to bully cats, bro. Just
Mm.
bully.
Yeah.
Try to bully, think you tough. Him and Dayball, the Giants
Yeah.
coach. Those two cats, yo, that have I seen in the street, I
Yeah.
might catch a charge,
Yeah.
bro. Straight up. Even at this age now, like, man, Genie, like, because I don't like when you try to be tough and that's not who you really are. You go
Correct.
tuck your tail. You know what I'm saying? Just like, and not to get off topic, I had to check, I was at a volleyball tournament in St. Louis 2 weeks ago, yo.
Mm.
I had to check Mike McCarthy in the hall.
Interesting.
I said, yo, what's up, Mike? He didn't speak. I was like, bro,
Mm-hmm.
you ain't gonna speak? I said, I played with you when I was in New Orleans. And then I said, on top of that, you acted funny. I said, our kids go to the same freaking school. So
Mm.
don't act brand new because you out here with these people. I said it, those people around, everybody looking like, yo, I don't give a damn, bro. It's a brotherhood. A lot of people don't make it to where we make it.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So whether you get fired or whatever, I don't gotta do it. I still got the common courtesy to say what's up, whether I like you or not, bro.
Yeah.
How many times we see former players that we know or current players that you don't really fool with them, but you speak. Hey, because
Correct. You show love.
you show
Absolutely.
love because
What we
only
did
a few could do
on
what
the
we
field.
do.
Yeah. Yeah. What we know, we understand what we grinded through, training camps, broken bones playing through. You got all the situations that's happening. Like I might not rock with you like that, but I rock with you on the standpoint of being a human
You've
being.
been through what I've been through.
Yeah,
You understand?
bro. Yeah.
And for Mike McCarthy, I'm laughing like, yo,
Yeah.
we went through Hurricane
Katrina. Yeah.
Katrina and all that stuff when we in New Orleans and we get Mr. Benson fly us to San Antonio, Texas. We staying up at the hotel, our families and everybody, bro. So it's like those little things. I ain't forgot them, so I know you can't forgot them.
Yeah.
And don't granted, players come and go, but come on, bro.
Some people though, some people, Shaun, they you know, and it ain't it's them. It's an intrinsic thing. It's something internally, bro. And I seen that a lot with coaches, you know, because they'll never be able to do what we did. Like we can easily go do what they do. Like how many
Yeah.
players are coaching now? Shout out to my boy D State, assistant offensive line coach with the Washington Commanders. Willie Gay coaches. I think it does quality control. My man Chris Banjo. Like all of these
Yeah,
guys.
Chris Banjo. Yeah, I'm happy for
Yeah,
Chris. I seen it, Kyle. I'm happy for Chris. I love Chris and State, my boy.
yeah,
I got hey, State, my boy. Me and State had a nice good time, man. Me,
yeah,
him, and Max Starks. We used
yeah.
to
Hey,
kick it
man,
together a little bit.
absolutely. I just seen him at Super Bowl, man. But my point is that like even when you in the coach's circle, it's just a different love that we have as players for each other, man. And I don't think, and it's if you're a coach that can grasp that, then I understand that you're a well-rounded individual. I'll give you an example, man. Bill Callahan, one of the best to ever do it, for at least to me, when it comes to being a people person. And I don't know who he was prior to me meeting him in Dallas, but the way that he was open and allowed you to come in and talk to him, another dude, man. Oh man, I love this guy to this day, man. I love him to life. Dick LeBeau.
Yeah,
Dick LeBeau,
I heard,
no
I
matter
heard,
where
I
you
heard,
at.
I heard LeBeau was a cool. I heard LeBeau was
Oh,
cool.
but
Like,
he was a player though. 12 years with the Lions, cornerback. So he get it. Like it's about relationships, man. Like it's hard enough to get to where we were or where we at. Like don't make it harder by being an a-hole or trying to flex your power on people or you messing with people's livelihoods, man.
and that's what
So
cats
like
don't be. That's what cats don't be understanding, and
yeah,
that's how I felt. Like, bro, we grinded together. Like, hey, nothing. I done seen you, and even when you was at the Cowboys, coach,
yeah,
I used to be up at the facility. You know what I mean? I played for the Cowboys, so before I come in different times, different stuff. So don't big time me just because you with a couple of parents and what the fuck about them parents?
hey
Come
man.
on.
But you know what? I look at those particular situations and I say, man, I appreciate you because now you show me
You
who
showed
you really are.
me who you really
Yeah,
is, though. But
yeah,
I had to let you know too, though. I ain't with the shits.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm gonna call you out on your
yeah,
shit, just like I would want somebody to call me out. Because one thing I always do, I respect the fans,
yeah.
no matter what. Because if it's not for the fans, we wouldn't be who we are. Period.
Correct.
Period. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, unless I'm out to eat with my family, yeah, I won't sign that because I'm eating, bro. But if I'm done, I'll take a picture, do whatever, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
Cool. You know what I mean? But people don't be understanding that sometimes. Oh, you rude stuff. Nah, sometimes we have bad days too. We are human.
yeah, yeah. They sometimes the fans forget that, because they see us on the TV all the time, and they just look at us being one way. But like, bro, we got feelings, we got families, we have good days and bad days, just like anybody else, or moments, just like anybody else.
Yeah, but even when I don't know if you got kids. You got kids?
I got kids,
All right.
absolutely.
So like, I don't know if your kids play sports yet or whatever, but I hate when I go to my kids' events and people want to talk about the sport. Yeah, I'm not here to talk about sports, bro. I'm here to talk about. I'm watching my kid, bro. I'm locked in.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk. Oh, you thinking about the game this weekend, bro?
I don't.
I don't care right now.
Yeah,
What about this game right here that's going on?
yeah,
That's what I really be on, man. I just when people find out, oh, you used to play football. Oh yeah, that shit. They just want to hear the stories, and
yeah,
I get it. But right now ain't storytelling time.
yeah. And that's the human side that they lack. You know what I mean? Understand? Like it's so funny, man, that you bring that up because I was just at my son's basketball tournament. Walked right past Kenny Smith. Kind of caught me off guard because I'm like, I know it's a basketball, it's a big tournament. I get it. But I'm like, first of all, why he in Dallas? And second of all, like, okay, he must have a kid out here. I just dapped him up, said, hey man, appreciate you doing what you're doing and kept it moving. But I get that being an athlete. Like I'm not finna sit here, stop, try to have a 5-10 minute conversation with you when you with your girl or you with your son or whoever out there you watching. Like
Yeah,
that's not the time to do that. If I'm supposed to meet you,
I'm gonna
then God will bring it
meet you.
in
I'm
the
gonna
right
meet
time.
you.
We'll have that
Yeah.
conversation, right? But we're talking about kids, man. So I want to move to this point, dude. Give me your take on NIL because I can promise you, man, these college kids are getting paid, bro, and
So
it's interesting to see how the landscape of college football is being shaped and changing because of it. What's your thoughts on NIL and the players and everything like that being paid?
uh, I'm cool with them being paid because shoot, I used to get paid, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But I was under the table, you know,
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
handshake. You know, I got taken care of, you know what I mean? But you know, I'm glad they're getting paid. They deserve it. You know what I mean? Jersey sales, but what's about to happen, people don't understand, is the shift that as you see colleges are going to having general managers.
yeah,
They're about to go to revenue sharing. Like college is about to be professional sports
yeah,
in the sun. You know what I mean? But then even in the NIL, everybody talking about the money, but if you ain't getting your money up front, what's that? You deals a year to year because I heard of some cats not even getting their money. You don't perform, yeah. That check
yeah,
bounce. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
So just a matter of time of doing it the right way. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, they're gonna get paid. They should get paid, but the cats gotta understand taxes. They gotta pay
mm-hmm,
taxes. Understand what you're doing. Don't just go do a deal. Don't sell your soul
yeah. Okay, good.
with these companies. I don't believe that because some companies are scammers and you got a name and they want, you know what I mean. If you gonna do a real deal, when I say a real deal, it's stuff like Juju
Mhm.
Watkins that played for USC
Yeah,
got the airline deal. You know what I mean. When you get stuff like that with major corporations, that's real NIL.
yeah,
That's something that's so when you done, you still gonna have it. You know what I'm saying? You
yeah,
still can have the relationship as long as you didn't do nothing crazy. You know what I mean? Because just like even when I was playing, I used to have the dealership cars. You know what I mean? They give you the demo car, and once you get to 5,000, come swap it out.
yeah,
Swap it out. I did, or as the word they use, bartering. Get 4 tickets, stay at the hotel. You know when you playing the different teams, being in my journey, yo, I'm staying at the Embassy Suites, bro.
mm-hmm,
You got 8 home games. All right, we need 3 tickets to every 8 home games. You do the math. That's cheaper than me paying for a rent in an apartment and paying bills.
facts.
And I get room service, and I get a meal every night, happy hour too, at staying at the embassy.
Yeah,
Come on, bro. I'm bartering the deal, so it's just about bartering real good deals for you when it comes to NIL. That's all it is because everybody got a value, but some people ain't value as high as others.
yeah,
It's the
yeah,
market. Just
yeah,
like when we play,
yep,
right? You may get an autograph signing for 2,500, but Hans Ward gonna get 15K.
correct. Yeah, that's market value. Yeah, and if you're non-biased and non-emotional about business, you understand that. So if you want more money, increase your value. That's exactly how that
That's
works.
it. Either ball or do something where people know your name and you have a following to succeed to get what you going.
Facts. What advice would you give to these young kids now that's getting ready to tap like they're coming out of high school? Like I know the kid from Michigan, I said that allegedly he got 10 million. You got, Carson Beck. He signed, I think he signed, they say he signed 10 million for Miami. Like what financial advice would you give these kids that are signing these big deals so young, right? These are like
Well,
mid.
first get you an advisor.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Um, help help you understand what's really going on with your money.
Yeah.
Um, you got to be in tune to understand what's going on too. You know
Nice.
what I'm saying? To really understand with the money. Pay your taxes on the money too.
Mm-hmm.
Pay your money on the taxes. Everybody quick to say, "Oh, start a foundation." No, that doesn't necessarily mean you need to start a foundation because a foundation costs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
People don't understand that you got to work. That's not just something you do. People trying to get the tax write-off. There's different ways to get the tax write-off because of your bracket you in. You know what I mean? Then also you're so young, so it's different things that balance stuff out.
Yeah.
You know, get your team that's on the same page. You know what I mean? To make sure your agent understands your financial right. They all have to have a relationship. May not agree on everything, but they all have to have a relationship if they all care about you. And this is what they say we are doing. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So that's one of the that's the biggest thing some of these kids need to take away with getting all of this money. You know what I mean? Because even like what's that school Utah? That whole D line got whole offensive line D line got trucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just navigate and know your worth.
Yep.
Really know your worth, but don't be naive. Like don't try to count another man's
Mm.
pocket. Know what's
Hmm.
in your pocket. Now
Yeah.
you can have ambitions and dreams to, you know what I mean, get to Whistling. I'll never forget. Greg Ellis, my rookie year. I was just telling him, yo, I just want to get to 10 years, G. I'm trying to be like you, an old man that play that long. And guess what? I did it.
Yep.
I got a client right now. Shout out to my client, LJ Collar, play for Arizona Cardinals,
Hmm.
TCU kid, from Monday, Texas, country kid, right? He going on year 7. I've been with him for 7 years,
Mm.
training, being his trainer, mentor, boom, boom, boom. And my brother's his agent.
Nice.
The crazy part is about the relationship. My brother used to be an intern at the agency LJ was first with.
Hmm.
Now my brother got certified. You know, when you build relationships, and when a player sees the person who really is the one doing the work,
Work. Yep. Yep.
what you gonna do?
Absolutely.
I need to go. I need to go with who's doing the work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now, shit, we like family. Now my brother represents him. We break bread together. He also supports my foundation with back to school drives.
Yep.
He actually helped donate. He just donated to my AAU girls basketball program that I run through my foundation, Pure Ground Elite Girls.
No,
Um, so yeah, man, just it's about relationships and just getting you a good team and also having a good support team. You know, when you're coming into all this money.
I think that's what you said right there is probably the biggest key, man. Is just being able to identify who's going to be in your inner circle and having a good system around you because you can't do it without a team, man. A lot of times, like you coming from backgrounds where they don't even talk about money at the table, so nobody really knows how it works. So you get people around you that really understand how it works, so that way you can create a system and a plan. You know what I mean? There's a way for you to be able to take care of people without shelling out your money all the time. You can create opportunities for them. And if they
Yep.
really want to change, then they'll take advantage of the opportunities
And when
that
you
have been.
take the opportunity, when they go and take advantage of the opportunity, it builds trust. So then it's like, okay, I mess with you now. I could do this for you.
Yeah,
I could, I could donate to you. You know what I mean? Oh, you support literacy? Oh, okay, cool. When the next literacy event? You having an event or a book drive, whatever? People. You just got to keep building relationships. Like I tell you, everybody got a story, man. And it's
no
just
doubt,
that's how you want to present your story.
no doubt, man. Well, we all know that, like even playing 10 years, I retired year 10. Man, the game ends for all of us, man. What advice would you give for the guys like you're talking about your guy who's playing 7? So if he wants to go another 3, 4, for the guys that are transitioning, what advice would you have for them getting ready to come out of that world into what we know as the real world?
Start finding what you want to really do, whether it's coaching, business. I just get so frustrated with the guys because you got the trust. There's so much the players trust, the PA. There's so much programs out there that you got to look in. Broadcast boot camp, if that's what you're really trying to do, and you navigate. And I know sometimes it's still biased. We know that on certain stuff. I hate to say it just is. I'm gonna call a spade a
Yep,
spade. It's all about who you are too, and still like if you was playing.
yep,
But if you consistent, they're gonna take care of you and
gotcha.
precise with your stuff. It took for the trust a minute to I'm gonna talk that shit on social media if things ain't right, so they know. Keep Sean satisfied, or if he's saying something, evidently he got some. If I said something, I got facts about
Yeah,
it. I ain't gonna just throw something out there just to say it. I'm telling you true, cold, hard facts, and now you got to deal with it. And so
yeah,
to keep a loud mouth, you know what I'm saying, quiet. You going make sure, you know what I mean? So I always comply with the Breakfast Club, do all the programs, do all that. So when I need something, I can call up. It's never they get back to me within 24 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to show that you want the stuff. It goes back to being a kid. You
Yep.
can't just say you want it and then don't put the work in. They got the
No doubt.
program to go, got the pros to go back to school, but some people too lazy to fill out the scholarship information. It's just an essay to tell them why you want to go back to school, but why you can't do that. What's so
Yeah.
hard?
I mean, shoot. Now, I mean, you got Chat GPT. You literally put it in there and tell it what you want it to do, right? So, literally, hey, I'm trying to go back to school. Here's the things that are important to me. Craft an essay that sounds like how I write, right? And boom, now you in. You can go do what you need to do. Like there's tools. You just got to do the work. I think that's the thing. A lot of us are used to delegating things and not really doing the work, Sean, outside of physical labor. You know what I mean?
Because it's, you know why?
It's
It
easier.
goes back to when we were playing
Yeah.
and you're too busy. Hey, can you handle this? Can you handle this? Can
Delegate.
you handle this? And it's like you're done playing now. Now you got to do the shit yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a product of one of the guys that used to sometimes because so used to do it. But shit, I used to know. I know how to do it.
Yeah.
It's just I don't like doing it
Yeah.
sometimes. Got to the point where you know what I need to travel agent for. I can just do it myself. I know when I want to leave. Let me just look up the flight.
No doubt. No doubt. Yeah, you listen.
I,
So
I,
your situation is different because you know how, you just don't want to. Some people got to learn how to do it. You know
but
what I mean?
I learned how. But even with financial advice, I tell cats now to pay your bills. They shouldn't be charging you to pay your bills.
Mm,
That's free with any bank.
yeah, yeah,
So what you talking about? Bill? They pay my no. The financial advisor makes 1% off your money.
yeah,
So if you got a lot
yeah.
of money in investments, what you're doing, that's how they make their money. And they have the little fees that cats don't be knowing, they don't pay attention to. Read the fine print.
They need a mentor, bro. They need somebody like Sean to be able to tell them these things and go over that with them. So if you're a young dude and you watching this, reach out to Sean. he gonna go.
Yeah,
He gonna
I'm gonna
fight.
tell you, and I'm gonna tell you for free, only for so long though, because I can't keep telling you to say. I tell some of the same cats the same shit, and you come back to me, oh gosh, oh man, how do how do you get your line of duty? How do you do this? How do you, bro? But you'll go pay somebody else,
Yep.
but don't want to pay me. It's the
Yeah.
same thing when I train kids. Yeah, I go over here, blah 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 blah. But I'm the expert. I play. I got the best experience, dude. I can't lie to you.
Yep.
And they
Yep.
get mad about that. But you
Well, I mean, they can get mad and get gone, man. Because
know,
at the end of the day, value cost.
that, and that's my whole thing. I tell people all the time. You're trying to get to where I've been to. I've been to the highest level there's ever to be in professional sports.
Yeah. Yep.
And I said I just use that to, propel in life, but I'm still human. I still gotta live every day.
No, that's real. And here's everybody's paying somebody. And so if you value the thing that I've done and want to get to where I am and where I've been, then that costs. It's just the reality of it. And I don't feel any way about it. You shouldn't either. Right?
No,
There's something that you want.
I used to feel bad because I try to help people, and you know I got a big heart, but shit, sometimes that shit is like, man, fuck my heart, man, because shit, the vibes I'm giving, you don't give a fuck. You just using me. I'm not a
Yeah.
user, so don't use me.
Yeah. 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 No, and the reality is I look at it from this standpoint. I'm gonna always be me. I'm gonna always help people, but I'm also gonna respect my value. And I'm gonna make sure other people respect it too. And I read a Bible verse that basically said, like, hey man, if you have, to sum it up, if you have something of value, then you need to sell that. Right? That's what Joseph did when Joseph was the king of Egypt, and everybody had he came up with this plan. The Pharaoh was like, all right, you second in command, get the plan going for the famine that's coming. Now everybody coming to get some stuff. He sold the solution.
Yeah.
So if it's good enough for Joseph, it's good enough for me. That's how I look at it, man.
Nah, I mean that's facts, bro.
Yeah.
That's facts. It's
So
just a matter,
let
you
me
know.
ask you this, man. And I appreciate you, bro. I wanna kind of end it this way, because I'm always looking to give value and get value from individuals like yourself to give to the youth. Um, You know, like we talked about, football is they say it's 90% mental and 10% physical. But I believe that there's also a balance between emotional, spiritual, and physical. For the guys that's getting ready to go to the league or either have aspirations of going to the league, what kind of advice would you give them for the journey that they're getting ready to take going to that level? Because it's going to be a journey.
For one, believe in God,
Mm,
keep you safe. Um, Focus on you. Don't count the numbers in the room.
yeah,
Know what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and why to do it.
love
Uh,
that.
Shoot. Be yourself. Know when to talk and know when to shut up. Be coachable.
There it is. Absolutely.
That,
That's good. That's great advice.
that's just that's the best. That's the best. That's the best way I can sum it up because when you talk too much, you don't listen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh yeah, like my man said too. I ain't gonna lie, don't burn no bridges because I can't say I had no bad blood with too many people or nothing like that because I keep it a space, keep it a buck. You just know what it is. Um, so that's the best thing I can do, man. Just stay prayed up, really for real. Just stay prayed up and just believe in yourself, confidence. You know. To go back on something real quick before we
Yeah.
go and that thing, it's just like when you walk in a room, you're supposed to walk in like you the man. Anywhere I walk in, I don't care who's around. Yo, I walk in like I'm the man. And that gives the energy to people like, oh, okay, he is the man. Let me go see who he is. What's cracking? You know what I'm saying? So, I
Powerful.
mean, that's it. But people want to find out more about me. I'm on IG. My website for my foundation is the Shaun Smith 91ways.com. That's my foundation. If you ever want to donate, there's a donation button on there. You ever want to support me, just reach out. I got Cash App, 91 Ways, $ 91 Ways Foundation. You know what I'm saying? I need help right now with my AAU girls basketball team. I got some girls that never played AAU ball before they play high school ball. And I'm just trying to get them opportunity to play in front of college coaches. So, these tournaments be costing a lot. And some of the stuff come out of my pocket. Then my partner, Robert Hunt, Mr. Grind Circuit, he be training kids and we coach together. So I mean, it's just I believe in the dream and it's gonna come value. If I believe I just pour into these girls that somebody is gonna make it, and I don't want nothing from them. I just want you to get the opportunity to go to school for free, like I did.
Man, I love that. Well, look, man, I'll be first to say, man, I'll definitely jump on there, man, and make a donation to the foundation, man. Because for me, it's not just about saying you're gonna support; it's about supporting. So I'll definitely do that.
Not, and that be the biggest thing, man. And like I tell people, I said sometimes support is $10. That's cool. If that's what you got, that's what you got. You know what I mean? I tell people, you go to the club and buy bottles, right?
Yep. Why
You
not
know
invest
what I mean?
in kids? Not invest.
People don't understand. People don't understand. Just like for Thanksgiving, I tell people all the time, the $25 to $30 will feed a family of four for Thanksgiving. That's kind of turkey, rice, either a baked cake or Jello, and a couple of sides, bro. If
Yeah.
you do it right, you get the turkey for $12, $14. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Canned food rice is $2 in a bag, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's about it could be the no frills kind. People don't understand it's about the Walmart brands, about how you season it. You know what I mean? You got that touch.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So
Basically,
man,
if I'm hearing you right, man, it's a little go a long way if a lot of people do it. You know what I mean? A little go a long way if a lot of people do
it
it.
is
So
but bro, you see it takes a little support, just like when you started doing this.
yeah.
You started seeing who was for you and who wasn't for you.
Yep.
And it was crazy though. It's
Yeah.
crazy. You be like, hey man, when we all busy, don't
Yep.
get me wrong. But like I tell people, if it's important to you, you're gonna make time to do whatever it is.
That's the part. And a lot of times people don't want to people are scared to get the answer to the question, are the people that are around me really with me? because we like being on the fugazi side a little bit, man, and playing on the surface level of things. But when it's time to get real deep into stuff, you really find out who's with you, man. There's a cat that I got to shout out before we go, man. My man Delvin, bro, doing a lot of work out there in Louisiana with the kids and the camps, and he's using football kind of similar to how you talked about with your coach. He using, I think he was talking about Lou Holtz, how he used football as the tool. In Louisiana, man, there's a lot of violence in that space. City, great love, a lot of love, but there's a lot of violence, and he's been able to cultivate that city that he's in and teach these kids about what manhood is about what overcoming adversity is about responsibility, all of those type of things. So that's to your point about what it is that you said. But you also, I can't let you go without talking about this. The financial literacy program that you got. Share that with the people and let them know about that.
Oh man, the financial literacy program is just educating the kids on your money, man, and understanding you got to read to understand how to continue to make money and let your money
Yeah.
grow. And it's a big key right now. Everybody say they want money, but don't know how to. For one, they don't know how to get it
Yeah.
or go about getting it. So many programs when you're trying to start a business out there. It's just so many ways to navigate it. You got to do it, and you the future. If you the future, you got to take care of your wealth and understand how to get to wealth. So, financial literacy program I have been having for a while. Shout out to my boy, Dr. Leonard Freeman, aka BJ. He helps me with my foundation, with the grant writing sometimes, because that's another thing. There's grants out there, but I don't know how to write them. So if you're a grant writer out there, I can't pay you, but if you really trying to make movement and be part of the movement and the process and be the change and reasoning for the community, tap in with me. Ain't hard to find, like Prime said. I'm here.
Facts.
Uh,
Listen, Shaun, man, I appreciate your time, brother. If you can, send me over that information for the Cash App. I'm gonna put that in the YouTube link so that people can make donations to the foundation as well. I'm gonna throw my hat in there and go ahead and do that today as soon as we get off of here,
all
man.
right.
Because I really appreciate what you're doing for these young kids, and we need more men out there like you that's taking the lead on that and really being an example to these young kids about particular areas of life, man, for sure.
Yeah, and send me some information on the Athlete Alliance. I know
Yeah,
more about it, so I could I don't know, you could meet my brother and tap in with my brother. Maybe just it's about relationships, and
facts.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
listen, I tell everybody I'm always willing to have a conversation, man, for sure.
So, you know what I mean. But I appreciate it. Thanks for having
All
me.
right, Sean, I appreciate you, man.
All right,
Well,
have a good one.
you too, brother.
Yep.
All right. So, with that being said, Gridiron Games, man, that was Mr. Shaun Smith. Like I said, you see, he's doing a lot of things out of the community, dropped a lot of gems. I hope you guys were able to get something out of this. I know I did, man. At the end of the day, nobody's perfect. We're always searching for perfection, and in that search of perfection, Lord's will, we find our purpose and we continue to build on that and allow that purpose to go out and serve others. Like you see Shaun serving the community and serving these young kids with the AAU tournaments and the financial literacy program. So support this brother, man. Don't just say you're gonna be somebody that's gonna support. Actually support that brother. And a lot of times it doesn't involve money, but sometimes it does. And so a little bit can go a long way. So with that being said, I hope you guys, like I said, took something from this. It's your man, Tony the Tycoon. Run well, young lions. I'm out.